Hey, what's up? It's Madeline Paquette. I'm a certified sommelier and co-founder of WineFolly.com, where we learn by drinking. Episode 3, How to Taste Wine. Last week, we talked about what wine is from a health and sciences perspective. This week, let's actually put this stuff in our mouth and learn how to analyze wine the way sommeliers, wine buyers, and critics do. In order to get the most out of this episode, I'm going to need you to get a bottle of wine, preferably a single varietal red wine that's bold. Then pour yourself a 75 milliliter portion, which is about 3 ounces. The steps of tasting are very simple to learn, even though they can take years to master. They are look, smell, taste, and think. That last step might seem unimportant, but it defines your personal sense of taste, so take the time to do it. First step, look. When we look at wine, what are we actually looking at? Well, we're getting a preview of what's actually inside this glass. So grab yourself a sheet of white paper and hold your wine over it. We're gonna check out the hue or color, the intensity of that color, and the viscosity. When you take a look at the color of wine, you're really assessing the hue. Wines can either be more of a blue tint or a red tint. A blue tint wine might have a higher pH. A red tint wine may have a lower pH or higher acidity, or it could be older. The next thing we'll look at is intensity. Can I actually see through this wine? Not really. This could indicate a lot of polyphenols or tannins in the wine. And finally, let's take a look at the viscosity. Wow, look at those legs. Legs are just a fancy way of saying the GIBBS-MARANGONI effect, which is actually a fancier way of saying legs when I really think about it. The GIBBS-MARANGONI effect is a surface tension thing where evaporating alcohol causes little tears on the side of the glass to form. Okay, we're done with color. Next up, smell. Since so much of what we taste comes from aroma, smelling is the most important step. Your goal with smelling is to find at least 5 unique flavors that define the wine that's in front of your nose. You can choose anything that comes to mind. Close your eyes and just go there. Blackberry jam, prunes, crushed gravel, definitely menthol, and cocoa powder. So what smells in wine are not okay? Well, about 1 to 2% of wines do have wine faults. If you smell a wine that smells like wet dog or old wet cardboard, it's probably corked. If you smell a wine that smells really strongly of garlic and cooked onions, it might have a winemaking fault. If it smells like rotten egg, rotten egg, you might just need to decant your wine and let it open up a little bit. It needs oxygen. Some wines smell like sweaty saddle leather or Band-Aid. And that's actually a wild yeast called Brettanomyces that people either love or hate. Sweaty saddle leather. Now that we're done sniffing the wine, we can finally taste it. When you taste a wine, you're really thinking about the structure of the wine. How does that wine feel? You're gonna wanna take a big old sip and swish it all around. Is the wine sweet or is it dry? How sour is this wine? Do you feel that gripping sensation, that drying, astringent, like grits on the top of your mouth and the inside of your lips stick to your teeth? That's tannin. Believe it or not, that's the only thing in wine that's good for you. So drink up. And then right on the finish, when you swallow, you get that burn in the back of your throat. That's alcohol. All right. We finished tasting the wine, and here's our chance to put it all together. First, let's talk about the finish. Are you still tasting that wine in your mouth? Has it just got the longest finish? Or maybe you tasted it and it kind of disappeared. What's it taste like now on your palate? Is it tart, bitter, salty, sweet? All of this information tells you the overall balance of the wine. And this is what we look for when we're trying to find quality. Keep in mind, several wines that taste too tannic and too acidic now evolve into beautiful, delicious tasting wines when they're older. And conversely, Some wines that taste great now taste like crap later on. So that's how you taste wine. Next wine you taste, practice this method and practice it with every new wine you try. Thanks so much for joining with me, and if you had a good time, definitely subscribe. And if you want to follow along, pick up a copy of Wine Folly, the Magnum Edition, the Master Guide. And if you're looking to improve your tasting skills, we created this awesome tasting journal to track your notes for 80 wines using the professional method. Until next week, here's to your higher education.